Hey everyone, it's Libby from maighstirtarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Worimi First Nations people. It's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. Entertainment only. Okay, welcome. What do I want to have a look at? Well, I was actually going to have a look at the Artemis launch, but I might do that tomorrow because what's really grabbing my attention and refuses to let go is the Russians that toured the capital. Well, I don't know. Are they headed to Mar-a-Lago? I can't find anything in regards to that, but I would not be surprised. Anyhow, so apparently a US-Russian meeting was organized by Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, a Republican from Florida who has pushed for closer ties with Moscow and co-sponsored a bill calling for the end of US assistance to Ukraine. Oh my goodness, tell me you're a Russian asset without telling me you're a Russian asset. So apparently, it was organised by Luna, not the other lunatic Loma or whatever her name is, but Luna, and the Russian ambassador to the US, Darchiev, and five ministers of parliament. Russian ministers of parliament. So apparently they met with five members of Congress for bilateral discussions, and I'm going to say they were Ordan from Wisconsin, Ogles from Tennessee, Crane from Arizona, and Gonzalez from Texas. 1, 2, 3, 4, and Luna. So they met with the five. She's posted out some bragging thing onto Twitter saying for close to the first time in quarter of a century, 25 years, five as if it's a great thing. Oh my goodness. Speaking of terrible things happening with the Republicans, I gather the CPAC in Dallas was a bit of a flop. The photographs that came out showing this great get together showed multiple empty seats. I gather Gates was the opening speaker, Matt Gates. Bannon is there going, oh, they're going to put boots on the ground. It was an absolute, I'm just going to say, pretty much a disaster, despite how the media might try to spin it. And bravo on the marches. There were over 3,300 over, because that was the official number, and we know the actual numbers are a lot more. Claiming so far 8 million, try about 30 million, bigger than the last March that had again official numbers at about 8 million, which really were about 20. So huge congratulations, and I'm loving reading all the signs that are coming out. But I want to have a look at this. So US lawmakers under scrutiny after Russia visits the Capitol. Had a tour of the Capitol. Apparently went into some particular offices that they weren't supposed to go into, so they sort of made themselves at home. And what do we got going on here? Sorry, I'm just reading the article. There are the Free Russia Foundation, a Washington-based think tank of exiled Russian opposition leaders, said that allowing sanctioned Russian lawmakers to visit the US risks normalizing the impunity and weakening the united front that democratic countries must maintain in pushing back. So that's what I was really getting from this particular tour, was it was to normalize relations with the enemy. And this is what this regime does. They attempt to normalize relations. So what deck do you want me to use? I'm going to use the Mystical Manga. It's just mind-boggling that this is happening. But yeah, what I'm getting is it's about, okay, I suspect some money changed hands potentially, some bags came over. We've got this bribery card, but we've also got the out in the cold. So at the moment, Russia is still under quite enormous sanctions despite the orange twerp, the orange idiot apparently lifting oil sanctions. Gee, that wasn't half of the plan, was it? So Russia's been making tremendous amounts of money out of this conflict with that's happening in the Middle East, because the Orange Twip lift the sanctions on their oil and they've been making billions of dollars. Yeah, I'd say this was some potentially entertainment only, some bribery money that changed hands while the Russians were here. So let's have a look. Let's have a look. Show me. We've got here the walking away as things get illuminated. Also the voter with my 10 of Cups. I think Republicans, because Kissinger's come out really against this, Republicans are going to be like, it stinks. I'm feeling like it's something really stinks here. Okay, yeah, this abuse. So we've got the 2 5s, the challenge, but the abuse of power. So if you want anything to say Russian asset without saying Russian asset, have a look at these 5 lawmakers. So what do we need to know about this? Okay, what was behind inviting, please, okay. These 2 cards jumped out. The Lovers card. So the contracts and agreements that were made in regards to the 4 of Swords. The new era. I think they're preparing to come out and say that the Pooty figure is no more. But this is about new contracts and agreements. I don't think they met with the Orange Idiot. This is new contracts and agreements in the face of this, the downfall of the leader is what I'm getting there. And then we've got the money changing hands and the Death card. Ending of an era. Let's have a look. Why were these, what was the purpose of these? Okay, new plans being made with the 2 of Wands and the 3 of Wands. On the international stage, new plans being formulated to position on the international stage. Okay, this is going down a bit of a rabbit hole that I wasn't thinking, something a bit different. So show me. Why did Luna and these other Republicans meet with these? Why were the Russians? Okay, thank you. Why were the Russians invited? Why were the Russians invited here? I do get that it is to try and normalize. Why were the Russians invited here in the first place? I mean, this should be screamed from the rooftops. Why were the Russians invited here? Doing a deal with the devil. Greed, power, addiction, doing a deal with the devil. Yep, okay. Really submitting themselves to this devil energy. Challenged by the King of Cups. So the challenge is Kinzinger a cup energy, a birth sign? I mean, it's also was my card for Biden, but he's taken a huge step back with his Cancer. The challenge is the King of Cups, the negotiators, the diplomats, but this emotionally mature, calm energy stepping forward in leadership. Page of Swords, a whistleblower, and in the past, the Five of Cups. Not liking what is on offer, rejecting what is on offer. I find it fascinating that they didn't meet with anybody in the regime. I mean, they may have behind closed doors, but I'm feeling that they didn't. And I'm talking sort of Rubio, shady, twerp. There's going to be more information about this that comes out with this Page of Swords. But it's also about bringing forward a new strategy. Why were they invited? The Page of Swords, a new strategy. Because what was happening in the past was not working with that Four of Cups. Crowning the reading, yeah, it's not gonna end out well for them. The Ten of Wands, the energy over them was, what the frickin' heck were you doing? Overreach. The burden of overreach in regards to the messaging here. We've got the King of Swords coming forward. This could be legal action, or this could be action being taken with a new strategy. Why were they invited? The voters, externally, internally, the Sun, full exposure. I think they miscalculated on this. The hopes and fears, the Two of Swords, being seen as being thigh deep in the swamp with two masters. The outcome, oh gosh, another King of Wands, action being taken. Fiery action being taken. We've got three kings here. There's a lot of action here. Fiery action being taken. About gifts from the past with that Six of Cups, and dark money received. And legal restriction with the Eight of Swords and Tower. Yeah, it's Tower, Hierophant, abuse of power, stealing, betrayal, deceit, win at any costs, and then the Fool, uncharted territories. Okay. And regret. Oh dear, how sad, never mind. I think this is going to backfire on them bigly. I think it's going to expose them for dark money that's been received in the past. The intention was, to try and reset, because the attitudes were not aligned with what these particular reps wanted. I think they got paid to do this, allegedly, potentially. On the bottom, Queen of Cups, trying to keep a lid. This is Paulina, Luna, whatever her name is, trying to keep a lid on the situation. We've got the Lovers, the contracts and agreements that were made, and then we've got the Five of Pentacles, banished, and she's going to out in the cold, banished out in the cold. Queen of Coins, it's a homeland security issue. Page of Cups, something unexpected out of left field. Ace of Swords, a cutting, a slicing, a dicing, an ending being bought, and a new beginning. Okay, I'm just going to, it's not going to work out well for them, those that met with these. They're going to find themselves under scrutiny. They were stupid idiots. What I'm getting is that they were trying to reset relations with Russia. The optics, it's not good. It's not going to end well for them at all. Okay, so I'm gonna, the infighting, throwing under the bus, the Five of Wands. It's a lot of information comes out quickly, and it rapidly turns into a nightmare situation for them. Manipulation with the Magician, and smoke and mirrors, poor choices. got the Ace of Pentacles, big information coming about money coming out, and the Ten of Wands, the ending. It's not going to end up well for them. Oh boy, did it to themselves. But you know, what do they think was going to happen? I don't think they think, these people. Okay, I'm going to use the Golden Universal Tarot. What I'm going to have a look at on this side is the Orange Idiot came out and insulted. He should be kissing my, you know what I mean, to the at a Saudi investment conference in Florida. The Orange Idiot was there giving a yap, and he came out and really, really insulted MBS, the Crown Prince or whatever he is of Saudi Arabia. Now, I don't like MBS. He's the guy with the ordered the Khashoggi incident, and Krishna better be careful he doesn't get Khashoggi. Just horrible. Actually, I feel not a nice man. But you've also got to remember, if you cast your mind back, footage came out last year of the first overseas trip that the Orange Idiot did, the Orange Twerp did, was to Saudi Arabia. Now, remember when he was on the red carpet and he met with MBS, and there were two others there as well. And he was handed a piece of paper that had some photographs on it, because a photographer was at a certain angle and could see the photographs, could see it was photographs or stills. And the other three, I think there was three, or was there two? I can't remember. But they were laughing. They were laughing hysterically. The Orange Twerp literally went an ashen shade of grey despite his orange makeup, and quickly folded and stuffed the pieces of paper into his shirt pocket. Now, I read on that at the time, and I got that those pieces of paper, the photographs on them, were stills from video. And they were stills on video, entertainment only, allegedly, of the Orange Twerp with a child. And I'm just going to leave it at that, and you know what I'm talking about. Now, he came out, so MBS has dirt on the Orange Twerp. And I'm going to do the cash petal one in a minute. That's a separate reading. But he came out and he publicly insulted MBS in regards to whatever was happening. Now, I know what's happening. He is at MBS entering a contract with Zelensky of Ukraine to supply drone technology. Now, the Orange Twerp's sons, Sniffy Jr. and I Eat Glue, created literally days before a contract was issued, created a drone company to produce drones. Now, the amount of money that is spent on war just absolutely horrifies me and sickens me. But I find this really interesting is that Sniffy and Glue had set up a drone production company, and MBS said, nah, I'm going to go with Ukraine instead of the stateside version. So the Orange Twerp, so tell me about this. Is this why, using the Golden Universal Tarot, is this why the Orange Twerp insulted MBS? Because he went for Ukrainian drones over his company, his family company. Okay, Queen of Cups, Trying to keep a lid on the emotions, keeping something under wraps. Challenged by unexpected. Okay. I'm getting from these that they expected there was some sort of behind the scenes agreement that the Saudis would go with the sniffy glue company for drones, but they didn't with the Page of Cups. Took an unexpected turn, went on a different path. Let's see where it goes. Queen of Swords, internal strategy, the energy that they're stewing in at the moment. Taking a different strategy. And in the past, the moon, the lunacy. The lunacy is in the past. The secrets being revealed. The uncertain path. I think, yeah, I'm going to say yes. Crowning the reading, we've got the King of Wands. Action being taken. But again, he's looking off to the side here. So a plan of action being taken that was unexpected. And the immediate future is looking elsewhere. The planning, looking at other options, looking elsewhere. The World card, end of an era. Now you've got the orange twerp eyeing off the bald eagle at the top there. Karma coming and biting on the bum, change. I'm getting that the orange twerp family, now don't they have Liberty Finance or something? I wouldn't be surprised if it's called Liberty Drones. They seem to like using that word. That they had invested, I mean, there's no money card so far, but they had invested a lot of money into this drone business. Hierophant internally. But a change of direction was made. This is the royal decree. Internally, some sort of ruling internally being made. But this is karma and endings. The death card. Endings. Endings. Harsh truth coming forward. Temperance card. And a message of being a harsh truth. Balance. I mean, this could also be with the wings. Shifting from one cup to another, and the messaging coming out of the Middle East. A decision was made and they walked away and signed a new plan. We've got regret by the Emperor here, finding himself restricted, strategically restricted in regards to big money. He thought he had it in the barrel with this 9 of cups on the bottom. Harsh truth was brought forward that cut through and sliced and diced, and it's ended up into a nightmare situation for him. I'm getting he thought it was a done deal that the Saudis would contract his family Sniffy and Glue's drone business to make more money, and they went to Ukraine instead. Ukraine will reap the reward from it instead. That's why he's not happy. Okay. Doesn't help that a couple of AWACS and refueling aircraft were taken out in Saudi Arabia. Let's have a look. How's this going to turn out? Sniffy and Glue, they borrowed hugely from the Saudis to set this up with the expectation Chained themselves to the devil. End of an era financially for them. I think the Saudis might call in the debt. I'm going to ask that in a minute. But yeah, they chained themselves to this. And here's the Russia card. And here's this, the Star of Hope, but again, pouring the water in the two different directions. The emotional versus the practical. But this is also the Narcissist card. I'm getting they thought they had it in the bag. And that it was going to help with Russia. But they've got this harsh truth as the announcement came forward, and they realised they're carrying the can out, financially out, and legal action being taken. About the stealing, dark money, and the tower. Oh, far out. Ending with the Ten of Pentacles. Has MBS? Okay, this has gone down a rabbit hole I didn't expect. Did the Saudis make this? I'm getting they're going to call in the loan. Did the Saudis make this move? Strategy, strength of strategy, new strategic beginning. Did the Saudis make that? Because they're not stupid. Don't like them, but they're not stupid. Did the Saudis make this choice, MBS make this choice to ruin the Trump family? I think they did. The Moon card and the King of Swords, a deliberate strategy action taken to expose. Are the Saudis going to call the debt in? Is the Saudis going to call the debt in? Is MBS going to call the debt in? The unbalanced contracts and agreements that become just way too much. The inability to get it to the safe haven. I think they're going to. Let me keep shuffling. Now, I'll show you the next one, the Ten of Swords. Yeah. There's no money cards here, but I think this is about betrayal, treason. Oh, he's playing a game here. The first money card out, Two of Pentacles. I think they're going to call the debt in and they don't have the money. Temperance. Pouring from cup to try and create something new, trying to spin it. Four of Pentacles. And then the Justice card. I'm going to say yes. I think the Saudis are going to call, okay, well, two tens there. Let me ask, so it's really, really, really clear. Is the intention of the Saudis to destroy the sun and the moon, to destroy the Trump family? Sun versus the moon. Is the intention of MBS Yep. They chained themselves to the devil. the royal decree, trying to defend his position, and being sacrificed. There's that temperance again, Fool, and the celebration, uncharted waters, celebration, financially out in the cold, and the Tower. The ending of the happy families, ending of the Republican Party, potentially, ending of the happy families, and then the sword. I'm going to say, yeah. I mean, the only money card here is this one, I think. Okay, that went a little bit wild. I think, yes, I think the Saudis are going to call in their debt. To destroy, and it's not just Trump family, it's Kushner as well. I'm going to leave that there. I mean, I could look at it all day to look at all the possibilities, but I'm going to leave that there. Wow, let's see how it plays. Love to you all. Take care.